Today's thought is do good for others. It will come back in unexpected ways. Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8, subject English. And today in this video, we are going to cover one chapter of our PC Wren's grammar book. This is our chapter number 20 and the name of the chapter is Clauses. This is my lecture number 2 of the same chapter. This chapter is taken from PC Wren's grammar book. Topics to be covered in today's lecture are: meaning of subordinate clause will be told. Types of subordinate clauses will be told. Meaning of adjective clause and adverb clause will be explained along with examples. At last, homework will be assigned. Now let us see what is the meaning or definition of subordinate clause. A subordinate clause is a clause that cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. It needs an independent clause to make sense. It is also called the dependent clause, or we can say a dependent clause cannot function on its own because it leaves an idea or thought unfinished. It is also called subordinate clause. Dependent clauses help the independent clauses to complete the sentence. A dependent clause alone cannot form a complete sentence. So now let us see an example to clarify it. He was playing when I saw him. So here in the sentence, the clause when I saw him cannot stand by itself and make good sense. It is dependent on the principal clause. He was playing. It is therefore called a dependent or subordinate clause. So dear students, let me tell you what is the difference between main clause and subordinate clause. Main clause, it contains a subject and a predicate in it. Its meaning is clear without help of any another clause. But on the other hand, subordinate clause or dependent clause contains a subject and a predicate of its own, but it begins with a subordinating conjunction, making its meaning incomplete. So this is the difference between main clause and subordinate clause. Now let us see how many kinds of subordinate clauses are there. Number 1, noun clause. Number 2, adjective clause. Number 3, adverb clause. So there are 3 kinds of subordinate clauses, that is noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. Dear students, I have already explained to you about noun clause in detail along with examples in our previous video. So in today's video, we shall learn what is the meaning of adjective clause and adverb clause in detail. So now let us see what is the meaning of an adjective clause. An adjective clause is one that does the work of an adjective. Like an adjective, it modifies a noun or pronoun in the sentence. An adjective clause mostly starts with relative pronouns such as that, who, whom, whose, which or whose, etc. Now, dear students, or in simple way, you can say that a clause that does the work of an adjective is called an adjective clause. So, these are some relative pronouns which are used with an adjective clause. Who or whom is used to refer to persons. Which refers to things and small animals. that refers to both things and animals, and sometimes to persons as well. Relative clauses also begins with relative adverbs when, where and why in place of relative pronouns. So now let us see an example to clarify it. I remember the house where I was born. So here in this sentence, an adjective clause is where I was born because it is starting with the relative adverb where. Now, this adjective clause is giving us information about the noun the house. It is helping us to find out the noun. Which house? Where I was born. So, the clause where I was born describes the house noun and does the work of an adjective. Therefore, it is called an adjective clause. Now, a question arises: how to identify an adjective clause in the sentence, or how to distinguish adjective clause in the sentence. For that, you have to remember one thing: if the last word of a principal clause is noun or pronoun, then the clause after it will be an adjective clause, because subordinate clause qualifies that noun or pronoun. So let us see an example to clarify it. This is the man who has broken the slate. So here, what is an adjective clause? Who has broken the slate? It is an adjective clause in the sentence which is modifying or which is giving us more information about the noun the man here. It is helping us to find the noun. Which man? Who has broken the slate? So here, this is the man is main clause, fine, and who has broken the slate is here subordinate clause because it is starting with connector. That's why. An adjective or relative clause begins with relative pronouns. Relative pronouns join principal clause and subordinate clause. Relative pronoun qualifies noun and functions as an adjective. Some relative pronouns functions as who or whom it is used to refer to people, which is used to refer animal, objects or ideas. Whose is used to refer possession, you can say belongingness. That is used to refer people, animals or objects. Now, there are some relative adverbs also which are joining principal clause with subordinate clause. These are where is used for places, when is used for time, and why is used for reason. So let us see some more examples to clarify it. Number 1, it is a long lane that has no turning. So first of all, divide this sentence into two clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. So here in the sentence, it is a long lane is a main clause and that has no turning is here subordinate clause. So as you can see that word is here relative pronoun. That has no turning is here an adjective clause. Why it is an adjective clause? As you can see that according to the rule, if the last word of the principal clause is noun or a pronoun, then the clause after it will be an adjective clause. If you are not getting any noun or pronoun just before the relative pronoun or relative adverb, then that sentence will not be known as an adjective clause, because here an adjective clause that has no turning is modifying the noun lane, because which lane we are talking about? That lane has no turning. Same with other examples also. Number 2, people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. So here people should not throw stones is here main clause. who live in glass houses is here subordinate clause. So this clause is starting with relative pronoun who. That is why it is considered as an adjective clause, because this complete clause, adjective clause, is modifying the noun people here. Which people? Who live in glass houses. Number 3, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. So again, the complete clause, whose fleece was white as snow. It is an adjective clause because we are getting just before it. Means we are getting just before relative pronoun a noun. So that is why this complete clause is modifying to a noun little lamb. Which little lamb? Whose fleece was white as snow. Number 4, the time when the boat leaves is not yet fixed. So which time we are talking about when the boat leaves? So here, when the boat leaves, this complete adjective clause is modifying the noun the time here. As I have told you, for the time we are writing when in the clause. Omission of relative pronouns. So let us see how and where we can omit relative pronouns in the sentences. Number first rule is, if the verb comes right after a relative pronoun, then it is the subject in a subordinate clause. Remember one thing, a clause, it is containing its own subject, verb or verbs, or group of words. It is not necessary that it will contain group of words, but it is necessary that it will contain a subject and a verb in it. So let us see an example to clarify this rule. The woman who rode the scooter was very brave. So here, first of all, let us divide this sentence into two clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. The woman was very brave is here a main clause. Who rode the scooter is here a subordinate clause. Why it is subordinate clause? Because it is starting with one connector, because it begins with subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun or relative adverb. Fine, that is why it is a subordinate clause. Now, who rode the scooter? When you will examine, when you will divide this complete clause in different parts, then let us see what we will get. Who is here relative pronoun, but we cannot see any subject in this clause. Rod is here verb. The scooter is here the object of this clause. As you cannot see any subject in this clause, so in this case that particular relative pronoun will work as the subject in this clause. So in this case, relative pronoun cannot be omitted. Now let us see another rule. If there isn't a verb directly after the relative pronoun, then it is an object in a subordinate clause. What is the meaning of an object? Object means it is the victim of the action. Now let us see an example to clarify this rule. Here is the book which you want. So let us divide first of all this sentence into two clauses, main and subordinate. Here is the book is here a main clause, which you want is here subordinate clause. Fine. As you can see that which is here relative pronoun. Fine. And you is here subject and want is here verb. So we are getting subject also and we are getting verb also in this complete clause. Then this which relative pronoun will work as an object of this particular clause. Fine. But if I will remove this relative pronoun from the sentence, complete sentence, here is the book you want. If I will write down like this, then don't get it confused, because sometimes it can be omitted. Relative pronoun can be omitted. In which case it can be omitted? If you are getting subject plus verb together in a clause, at that time relative pronoun can be omitted. So in this case, this sentence will be not considered as a wrong sentence. It is understood which book we are talking about. Fine. Which book you want. Fine. So in this case, relative pronoun can be omitted. Fine. Means whenever you are getting subject plus verb in complete clause, then relative pronoun can be omitted sometimes. But if you are getting directly a verb just after a relative pronoun, you are not getting any subject, in that case relative pronoun cannot be omitted. So now let us see the third kind of subordinate clause, that is adverb clause. What is an adverb clause? An adverb clause is one that does the work of an adverb. Like an adverb, it modifies a verb, an adjective or another adverb in the sentence. It modifies a verb, that is action, of the main clause in the terms of time, place, condition, cause, purpose and result. So now let us see an example to clarify it. They fought as heroes do. So first of all, let us see what is main and what is subordinate clause in this sentence. They fought is here a main clause. As heroes do is here subordinate clause, and it is an adverb clause. Why it is an adverb clause? Because this complete clause, as heroes do, is modifying the verb fought. And we are getting answer of the question how they fought. As heroes do. So the clause as heroes do shows how they fought, and so does the work of an adverb. It is therefore called an adverb clause. So now let's see how many kinds of adverb clauses are there. Number 1, adverb clause of time. Number 2, adverb clause of place. Number 3, adverb clause of purpose. Number 4, adverb clause of manner. Number 5, adverb clause of reason or cause. Number 6, adverb clause of condition. Number 7, adverb clause of result or consequence. Number 8, adverb clause of comparison. So there are 8 kinds of adverb clauses. So now let us read about all kinds of adverb clauses in detail. Number 1, adverb clauses of time. What is an adverb clause of time? An adverb clause of time denotes or specifies the time. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions like when, whenever, since, until, before, after, while, etc. So let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1, when you have finished your work, you may go home. As you can see that when you have finished your work is here an adverb clause. You may go home is a main clause here. And why it is an adverb clause? Because it is starting with subordinate conjunction, that is when. And it is the complete clause is modifying the verb may go here. Fine, that is why it is an adverb clause, and you are getting the answer of question when also. Same with example number 2. The patient had died before the doctor arrived. So here before the doctor arrived is an adverb clause here, which is modifying the verb had died, and we are getting the answer of the question when also here. Now let us see another kind of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of place. An adverb clause of place denotes or specifies the place. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions like where, wherever, etc. Let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1. You can place it wherever you want. So here in this sentence, wherever you want is an adverb clause of place. Wherever is subordinating conjunction. You is here subject of this clause. Want is here verb of this clause. Now, why this clause is called an adverb clause of place? Because here this complete clause is giving us information about verbal phrase, that is can, place. And is telling us where can the action happens. Fine. Or you can say you are getting the answer of the question where. Where can I place it? Or where can you place it? Wherever you want. Fine. Same with another example. They can stay wherever they are or where they are. Now let us see another kind, that is adverb clauses of reason or cause. An adverb clause of reason or clause denotes the reason of any incident. It is introduced by subordinating or subordinate conjunctions like since, because, for, as, that, etc. To clarify it, let us see some examples. Number 1, I teach English because I love it. So here in this sentence, because I love it is an adverb clause of reason. In the same clause, because is here subordinating conjunction, I is here subject, and love is here verb. So here this subordinating conjunction is coming in the beginning of the clause. That is why it is a clause. It is a clause because it has both the things, a subject and a verb. Now it is telling us the reason of the action. I teach English. Why do I teach English? Because I love it. So here the clause because I love it is modifying the verb. It is giving us more information about the action teach. Verb teach. It is telling us the reason of the action teach. That is why it is an adverb clause of reason. Same with another example also. I am glad that you have come. Now let us see another type of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of manner. What is an adverb clause of manner? An adverb clause of manner denotes the manner or way in which something happens or happened. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions like as, if, etc. Let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1. She speaks as if she is the principal of the school. So here, as if she is the principal of the school is here an adverb clause of manner. Why? Because here as if word, it is coming in the beginning of the clause. Fine. And it is modifying the verb speaks. This complete clause is modifying the verb speaks. It is modifying in what manner does she speaks? As if she is the principal of the school. means you are getting the answer of the question in what manner, means what. Same like with another example also. He did as he was told. Let us see another type of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of comparison. What is an adverb clause of comparison? An adverb clause of comparison denotes comparison of two qualities. It is introduced by subordinate conjunction, then, and relative adverb as. Let us see some examples to clarify it. You are taller than I thought. So here, then I thought is here subordinate clause. Why it is subordinate clause? Because it is starting with subordinating conjunction, that is then. And here, why it is called an adverb clause of comparison? Because here comparison of two persons are there, that is you and I. Same with another example, she is as tall as his sister. So now let us see the another kind of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of purpose. Adverb clause of purpose denotes purpose. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions like that, so that, in order, etc. It answers the question for what purpose when it is asked to the verb in the main clause. So let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1, I will open the gate so that you can enter. So here I will open the gate is here main clause, so that you can enter is here subordinate clause. Fine. As I have told you that if we will ask a question from the verb in the main clause for what purpose, by putting what purpose, and you are getting the answer, then that particular clause will be considered as an adjective clause of purpose. Fine. So here I will open the gate is here main clause, and what is verb here? Will open. Fine. So let us put the question. For what purpose I will open the gate? Here we are getting the answer, so that you can enter. So whenever we are getting the answer of the question for what purpose, that answer will be considered as an adverb clause of purpose. Same with another example also. Take medicine regularly in order that you may recover soon. Fine. So here it is showing the purpose of taking medicine, opening of the gate. Now let us see another kind of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of result or consequence. What is an adverb clause of result? An adverb clause of result or consequence denotes the result. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions that. Frequently, so or such precedes it in the main clause. It answers the question how when it is asked to the adjective in the main clause. Whatever the answer you will get, that will be your adverb clause of result. Fine. So let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1, he is such a good man that all respect him. Here, he is such a good man is main clause, that all respect him is here subordinate clause. Fine. As I have told you that you need to ask a question from adjective in the main clause. So what is an adjective in the main clause? Good. Fine. Why it is an adjective? Because it is modifying the noun man here. Fine. And whatever the answer you will get by asking a question from an adjective in the main clause, that clause will be considered as an adverb clause of result. So let's ask a question from an adjective. Fine. How good is the man? how good is the man? You are getting the answer that all respect him. That is why it is an adverb clause of result. Same with another examples also. So bravely did they fight that the enemy were driven off. Now let us see another kind of adverb clause, that is adverb clauses of condition. An adverb clause of condition states the condition for the main idea to come into effect. It is introduced by subordinate conjunctions like if, unless, as, etc. Let us see some examples to clarify it. Number 1, if it rains, we shall stay at home. So here in this sentence, if it rains is here a subordinate clause. We shall stay at home is here main clause. If it rains is showing condition here. Fine. Because why it is an adverb clause of condition? Because it states the condition for the main idea to come into effect. Because what it is showing, we shall stay at home only when if it rains. This condition it is showing. Same with another example also, you will fail unless you work hard. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me. And your homework is revise chapter 20, that is clauses from the book or video, and based on the understanding of the topic, do exercise mentioned in the book PC Wren's Grammar as. Page number 120, exercise number 1. Students, you have to complete this exercise in your book only. If you don't have your book, then you have to complete it in your English Fair notebook. So now, let us see exercise number 1. Question is, find out the clause in each of the following sentences and say what kind of clause it is. Number 1, he saw that the clock had stopped. Number 2, I earn whatever I can. Number 3, I don't know what he will do. Number 4 is, it is uncertain whether he will come. Number 5 is, I am monarch, means emperor of all I survey. Number 6 is, here is the book you want. Number 7 is, I remember the house I was born. Number 8 is, I shall remain where I am. Number 9 is, I forgive you since you repent. Number 10 is, will you wait till I return? So that's all for today. This is the end of the lecture. Students, if you like our videos, please hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.